Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adis. I look into the technology bit at Idyllic. Today we're going to be speaking or getting to know something about progressive web apps. This is something that some of you all might have heard of. Very brief agenda of what we're going to go through. We're going to look at a quick history of the web. From 91 to from 2009 from 91 2000 onwards to 2016, native and native apps, mobile apps, and coming down to progressive web apps, building a case for progressive web apps. A brief history lesson. If you look at it, we all started off with HTML and HTTP with documents, went on to CGI, went on to peak CGI. In 1997 came across XML HTTP. A few years later we saw Gmail. Ultimately all of us got to hear of a technology called Ajax, basis again XML HTTP that we saw earlier, a few years earlier. Then we came across smartphones and the iPhone. We started to see a lot of mobile apps coming along the way, and then in 2014 we saw the service broker. Everybody will ask what is the service broker. We'll get to it. Today we stand in 2016. Where are we? I know we are towards the end of 2016, but I'll take a step back to around April 2016. What we look at that point in time is Chrome version 50 was released. We hit a billion user mark over mobile, and ever since then we've been doing 771 billion pages of content delivery over the net, over the web, each month ever since April 2016. And most of the browsing, how is it done? Is done via the browser. Via the browser on your desktops, on your laptops, tablets, mobile devices, other handheld devices. And that's where we come to the question of, should we go native or should we go just via the browser or web? Today, if we look at the web traffic, it is still twice the amount of traffic consumed by web applications as native app. If we look at the browser per se, browser usage on the mobile is 10 times that of the browser on your desktop. And obviously the reason is we all have mobile devices today. We are all mobile. We want to be able to browse and get access to information as we travel. We see products in the market. Some of them have QR codes. We just want to take a snapshot of it and be able to reach the product information. That has increased access, direct access to product information. But what we do see, the challenge that we face with the web is, as time progresses with respect to the amount of time taken to deliver content via the browser, we see a hell of a lot of drop-offs, which we know as bounce rates. We all have used Google Analytics at some point of time or different analytical tools, and we've seen that anything beyond 3 seconds has heavy bounce rates. So what did we all decide to do next? Well, we all pushed for native mobile apps. We said that in that case, I'll have an app on the device. It'll be there. Okay, I will not have a bounce rate. But what happened? And most of us continue to push for the native mobile app. So what's the problem? Well, to get a mobile app onto your phone installed and usable, you start losing 20% of your user base for each step that is taken. And the steps are, you go to download the app, install the app, create an account, okay, and start using. At each stage, you're losing users, and that's a challenge that is there. So browsing via the web browser, you had a bounce rate. Over here, just getting the app installed and being usable, creating an account, also you lose users. So what do we really want? Well, we want a great experience, okay? And what we've always wanted, we want everything to work fast, okay? What we were always looking for, we want to click on something, we want whatever we want it loading in a flash. And what does that translate into? What is it that we are really, really looking for? Okay, get me to a point where I can load the page within 3 seconds. Ultimately, that is my aspiration. Today, well, 10 seconds is good enough, but we want to reach 3 seconds. If a person is a repeat browser, we want the page loading within 500 milliseconds. Well, and while he's browsing it, we don't want content moving around, jumping up and down as images load. And today everybody is used to Facebook, long scrolls, scrolling fast, and we want all that happening at 60 frames a second so that you don't feel that it is jerky and doesn't give you the right experience. And if you heard the session that happened before this one, we were talking about user experience, and one of the key pieces to user experience is also not only having something that is functionally right or looking right, but also that loads in the desired time that the user wants it to load within. So how do we solve this problem? Well, that's where progressive web apps come in. Okay, what are progressive web apps? Okay, it's a technology, rather it's a set of a variety of different technologies put together, known as progressive web apps, that help build engaging websites and apps, okay, without the need for you to download an app. Very interesting. With mostly all the bells and whistles that you get out of a native mobile app. Well, nearly all, at least the ones that we really need. At the same time, we have marketing challenges, okay, and we have other IT and security concerns, compliance concerns. So we want it to be secure, we want it to be linkable, we want it to be indexable, searchable, we want it service oriented, we want it to leverage existing services that we've already got, and thus this particular technology or suite of technologies coming together help you achieve this in a very simple manner. Okay, so why do we need native mobile apps then? If we have progressive web apps that can do all this, why do we need native mobile apps? Well, if one of the key concerns is performance, okay, it's very much required. If you've got a lot of background processing to do, if you need OS specific features, if you need access to sensors on devices, not only the sensors that you are aware of that come with mobile devices that we all carry today, but other sensors on certain other devices, okay, you would need a native mobile or a native app to be running. But what if we really don't need all this? What if we could do with offline access and notifications? If we are willing to let go of the others, which I think in most of our cases we can afford to let go, that's where progressive apps fit in, progressive web apps. The experience will be reliable, it will be fast, it will be engaging, it will be completely performant, and that is what we are all looking for. We are getting the best of both worlds, the native app as well as the web via the browser. In principle, if you go to see, it's nothing more than at a very high level, it's an application shell that gets cached onto your device, which loads principally instantaneously, and the content can be pulled and loaded into the shell. It can access your existing web servers, okay, and there is a component called as a service broker that we saw a little while earlier in one of the slides, and that can be used for doing all your push, pull, sync, background sync, and that's where the service broker. And the beauty of all this is it's all JavaScript, something that we've always been working with for ages now. Well, you can add it to your home screen. You can have splash screens. You get notifications just like you would with your normal native apps that you've installed. And in principle, should work with all browsers, will work with all browsers ultimately, currently with Chrome, Firefox, Opera, very soon with browsers from Microsoft and Safari. Okay, so what do I get with progressive web apps? What are the features and what technology does it offer me? Well, first and foremost, the service broker. I think that's one of the key things that's there that allows you to do a lot of background operations, pull, push. Okay, you've got web app manifest that makes the shell feel as if it is an app on your device. You've got that shell is cached, that makes it load instantaneously. That is something that we want, thus ensuring that we don't have a bounce rate or we are not losing the user. We have the capability of splash screens, smooth navigation, smooth scrolling, push notifications, runs over HTTPS, has support for HTTP 2, which is very much around the corner, adopts compression, adopts access and gives you access to geolocation data of your device, gives you access to certain media that we are all used to sharing or giving access to, like videos, images, things like that. And yep, there are advanced offline support, which is something that we are all very keen to use, because we do not want you to go and keep downloading the same content every time you browse it. We want it to be cached locally, to be able to leverage that cache, thus loading the content practically instantaneously. Okay, so what are the early use cases? Who uses progressive web apps? Has anybody used progressive web apps? Where do you hear of progressive web apps in the market? Well, everybody's heard of Flipkart, right? Flipkart Lite is something I'm sure most of us in some form may have experienced. Okay. Key takeaways, key insights. One of the biggest things, they managed to get the user to stay on that particular website 3 times longer, which is very good. 40% higher re-engagement rates, 70% higher conversion when actually they had somebody add it to their home screen, and 3x lower data usage. That is taken care of by the offline mode and caching. Who else uses it? Have we heard of anybody else? So there's AliExpress, there's Extra Electronics, there's 5 Miles, Konga. These are all large brands in their own right, in different different corners of the world, and these are not the only one. There are tons of them out there. If anybody is really interested in having a look at them, you can make a note of this website. It's PWA Rocks, okay, Progress Web App Rocks, and you can have a look into the different variety of applications that have been built using the progressive web app technology. Now, where does Progress fit in? Well, Progress, you've all heard about Progress till now, and they've been doing a lot of background research, and they want to make everybody go the digital way, because that's the way for you to all be winners tomorrow, and that is what is ultimately going to transform all our lives. And they have the tools, they have invested over the years in development tools, content management systems, and testing systems, and all kinds of things that allow them to pull everything together to help build progressive apps, okay, and take you to the next step, that is being digital. So I think that was a rather quick rundown, and I will be happy to take queries offline if anybody wants to know more about progressive web apps, okay, or if anybody is interested in building progressive web apps. Yep.
Thank you.